midway through. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's been good. These guys, what we try to talk about every day is, and you've heard this word a lot in football lately, but is the process. How do we try to get better every single day? We get better obviously by, meeting and talking about what we want to do, and then we get better by walkthroughs, and then obviously we get better by practice repetitions. And these guys have done that. They've worked really hard. I think we're a better football team than we were at the end of spring. And now it's going to be, a lot of fine tuning and making sure we try to stay as healthy as possible, and eventually here pretty soon start getting ready for Florida State.
Coach, when or how will you determine captains this year?
Say that again?
Captains this year. How are you going to go?
Yeah, I think what we'll do this year is we'll go game captains, and then at the end of the season we'll elect captains. Yeah.
2 weeks away from Labor Day, that's a national televised top 10 opponent. How do you balance sort of the mindset that this is just any other game versus the obvious stakes of that game?
Yeah, no, I don't. Look, I think it's a big game. I mean, it's like you said, it's Monday night. I think it's the only game that night, college game. So we're excited for it. We know it's a big game. We've prepared that way throughout the off season. We're excited about going down there into a tough road environment. So yeah, no, we're excited about it. We know. I don't get into that. It's just I really believe that every game's a big game. Every game's a big game, and you only get so many opportunities. You only get 12 opportunities. So in football, it's not like baseball. You get 162 games. Basketball, get 80-something games. Football, you only get 12 opportunities. So every game's a big one.
Bill, obviously, you know a lot about quarterbacks. Had Thomas for a while, had Grayson. What do you think of your quarterback play so far?
It's been good. It's been good. I think that Tommy, and I've said this in the past, he's one of the most improved players on our team. He's really bought into what we want to do, how we want to do it. He's extra meeting time. He comes over here every morning on the days that we practice at 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, walks through the script with Coach Dibbs, and it's been really good. I think Grayson and Jacoby, they've all improved. They get a ton of reps, and if you put the time in and you work the way they work, you're bound to improve, and they definitely have.
Who are some guys who made big jumps from the start of camp until now in yours?
I think that some of the guys, there's a lot of guys that have made jumps I think there's a ton of guys that have improved. I think that when you think about guys that have made big jumps, I'd say Dwayne Alec on the offensive line has had a really good camp. Carter Davis, who is a guy that plays corner and safety, has had a really good camp. You've seen guys like Kyrie Johnson make jumps, Max Tucker, and there's several others. It would be remiss of me to keep naming these guys because I'll miss some. But I just think at the end of the day, a lot of guys have made improvements, and it's been good.
Are most of the starting jobs set in stone, or are you still competitions among them?
No, there's competition every day. I don't, certainly there's, will Ozzie start at right tackle and Jude at left tackle? Yeah. Will Drew Kendall start at center? No doubt about it. Will Tommy be the starting quarterback? Yes, but there's other positions where we compete every day and we evaluate every day and we try to make the best decisions for the team.
Where specifically have you seen Tommy improve?
I think he's gotten better really when it comes to the mechanics of throwing the football, which means footwork, his passing, his throwing mechanics, his understanding of coverage, his understanding of what we're trying to do protection-wise. I think he's made a ton of improvement in all those areas. He's a great runner. I mean, you guys saw that last year. He's a fantastic runner. He's an electric player. He's a dangerous player. He can do a lot with the ball in his hand, but I think he's made a lot of strides in the passing game.
How important is it in college football still that true quarterback, so to speak, somebody with experience?
Yeah, I think it is important. Look, you can only control what you can control, but when you have a guy that has experience, it's definitely a good thing. There's no substitute for experience. Tommy having played, at Central Florida and last year here, he's played in big games. He's played in different environments. These games are not going to be too big for him. So I think he's a guy that you point to and you say, yeah, it's good. We're really glad we have him, because he has some good experience.
Will Long has obviously been on staff with you for quite a while. How beneficial has that relationship and cohesiveness been as you're trying to implement your new system?
Yeah, Will's been with me for, I think, 13 years. So he was a graduate assistant at Penn State, came to Houston, and then Alabama, and then the Patriots last year. 13 years probably, Will would probably tell you that's the equivalent of 30 years. It's like dog years working for me. But no, he's been awesome. He's very diligent, very detailed. He loves the players. He cares about the players. He's very passionate about how he coaches. He's a perfectionist. He wants these guys to get it right off the bat. He's a good teacher, good communicator. He's very honest. He's very loyal. He's got all the traits you're looking for in a good assistant coach.
You mentioned guys who've improved throughout the training camp. Reed Harris seems to be one of
Yeah.
those guys. Where do you feel like he's most developed, and how does he fit into what's a pretty stacked receiving?
Yeah, we've moved Reed around a lot. He's played tight end. He's played receiver. I think he's refined his route running. I think he's a better blocker. I think he's a guy that catches the ball more consistently. He's worked very, very hard. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. He's a guy that's got size. You can use him in a lot of different ways. Like we think very highly of Reed.
So it's on game day. Have you kind of decided, or will you leave it up to the coaches whether they're upstairs or on the sideline?
Yeah, no, we've worked that. Yeah, we have decided that. I'm not going to really talk about that here, but yeah, we've definitely decided that. We worked that in a scrimmage last week, and we'll work it in a scrimmage tomorrow. The scrimmage tomorrow won't be it'll be more situation oriented than last week's scrimmage, but it'll still have the communication as it would be on game day.
You mentioned Ozzie and Drew. Just what stands out about their leadership and their play on the field?
Ozzie and Drew, yeah. I mean, first of all, they're really good players. They're excellent workers. They work very hard. They love BC, right? They're two guys whose dads played at BC. Were great players here. They take a lot of pride in wearing that uniform. They take a lot of pride in representing Boston College, and it's just great to coach those guys. They show up to work every day. They're lunch pail type of guys. They're BC guys. Moving forward, these are the type of guys that we want to recruit here every single year. Good? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you.